Okay, so today we're going to do Chapter 4, Section 2.3. We're going to do 72 all the way through 77, it looks like. And just so you guys know, it is Saturday, 2:30 in the afternoon, and I'm at school. So never say that I don't do anything for you guys. Okay. Now, to begin with, we last left off our lesson with sine, cosine, and tangent, and learning how to actually use all three of those together. And then for 72 says, let's see, for each triangle below, write an equation relating the reference angle, the acute given angle, so 22 degrees in this case, 49 degrees in the next one, and then 60 degrees for the third one. And then and the two sides, and then solve the equation for the variable that we have. So for the hint, it says, hint for all of them. It basically recalls which one's sine is going to be your opposite angle from your acute angle over the hypotenuse of the triangle. Cosine is going to be the adjacent or the one next to it over the hypotenuse. They're all pretty much fractions. And then opposite over adjacent for tangent. So I'm going to do the setup maybe for A, and then I'm going to label A, B, and C with how I want you guys to actually start labeling these, because it's super important. So I'm going to label the hypotenuse first for all of them. Okay, so sine and cosine are the two that have a hypotenuse in the denominator. So across from the 90 degrees is where we find our first hypotenuse. And then across from the 90 degrees is your hypotenuse. And across from the 90 degrees is your hypotenuse. Okay, so only two of these are going to have actual hypotenuse that we're going to use. The other one, or B, doesn't. So think about what that means. Next thing I'm going to label is the opposite side. Okay, so if you're standing at the 22 and you look straight across, this is the opposite side. Okay, if you're standing at the 49 degrees and you look across, this is going to be the opposite side. If you're standing at the 60 degrees and you look across, this one's going to be the opposite side. Okay, so the last thing that we don't have is going to be the adjacent side, or the side right next to the angle that we want to use. So if we already labeled the hypotenuse, we already labeled the opposite side, the only thing that's left to label is the adjacent. So I'm going to label that one the adjacent, this is the adjacent, and then this one's right next to it, so this is the adjacent. Okay, so based upon that information, look at your ratios. Okay, so which one are you going to use for the A, which one are you going to use for B, which one are you going to use for C, based upon the fact that sine is always going to be the opposite over the over the hypotenuse, and then so on for the next one. Okay, and then 73 is going to be for A, B, and C. If you're doing these correctly, for A you should get somewhere around 6.4 rounded, so 6.3 something, and then for B you should get around 6 point something, and then for C you should get, I think it comes out exactly 3. Okay, I'm not writing those down, so that means you actually have to listen to the video. Okay, 73. Okay, Eugene wants to use cosine. So again, cosine up here was the adjacent over hypotenuse, right? So he wants to use cosine. And then to calculate y for the triangle below, which angle should he use to write the equation, solving for y, and then y. So let's label the hypotenuse first, because that should probably help out. So 90 degrees, we look across, here's your hypotenuse. Okay, now we have y, we don't have anything up here, and then we have a hypotenuse. So the question is, which one's going to be the cosine? So we want adjacent, the angle next to the angle that we want to use, and then your hypotenuse. So if you're looking at the 61 degrees, if you're standing at 61, the variable y is actually across from it. So this would be opposite the 61 degrees and the hypotenuse. Well, opposite and hypotenuse is the sine function, so we don't want to use 61 degrees. So that leaves us with no choice but to use the 29 degrees. So adjacent to the 29 degrees is the y variable, and then hypotenuse always stays as hypotenuse. So we have cosine of 29 degrees is going to equal our adjacent, which is in this case y, over our hypotenuse, and hypotenuse is 42 degrees. Okay, and then, sorry, 29 degrees. I always forget to put a 1. I put degrees on there. So then you can finish that out yourselves. Okay, 74. I'm going to come back to this one. This is kind of lengthy, and I want to try to see if I can go fast through the other ones, or if I don't come back to this one in this video, check it out to see if you can, if there's another video after this one that just does 74 by themselves. This is a really long one. So I'm going to go to 75 next. Use an area model to factor each of the following expressions. We have xy minus 6x minus 18 plus 30, or plus 3y. And your hint is use an area model and then figure out what your factors are. So they did the first one for you. They said, okay, well, we're going to put a 3y here. We're going to put an xy here. We're going to put an 18 and an x there. And so the trick is to kind of match them up so that it works out when you do a product, because you still have to factor. So factor means find the product. You want the product, right? So the question is, what would go out here? Well, you have y in common at the top and on the bottom, so there's probably going to be a y somewhere down here at the bottom. There has to be a 3 here, because 3 times y is going to give you 3y. And then there has to be an x here, because x times y is xy. And so the question is, well, now we have a negative 6 here, and because 3 times negative 6 is going to give you negative 18. And as a result, to finish this out, your actual answer is 3 plus x, or x plus 3, whichever way you want to go, and then y minus 6. This is your answer. The box is not your answer. Please do not forget to actually factor or find the products. It's called factoring. And the same thing for B. You have to situate it in such a way that it should make sense. Okay? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 of them need to go in here. And you gotta have to kind of play around with the numbers a little bit. You know, if you just go in order, like, I'm gonna do this in pencil because I don't know if it's gonna come out right. If you just go in order, for example, 2xy, minus 3y, 2x, and minus 3. Okay, is that gonna come out okay? Can you find numbers on the side for that? I don't know. Is it gonna come out okay? That's why I'm going to put a question mark. So, sorry, that went really fast. So, you know, is this going to work? So let's see, I don't know, see if that works, if the numbers work. If the numbers don't work, change them. Erase the 2x and see if maybe you can flip them around. You know, maybe put the 2x up here instead, and then put the minus 3y down here. You know, what will work out for you? And your product is right here, so I mean your answer, your factored form of that expression is down here, so please look at it, see if it makes sense. Okay, and then the same thing for part C. You have, you know, plug them in, see what works. Okay, and then 76 is really easy. The only thing I will caution you, and I remind you, and I will remind you again and forever and always, please make sure that when you plug numbers in with negatives, you are actually doing a parentheses. So this should be negative 4 squared plus 2 times negative 4 minus 3. Please put the parentheses around the number that you're plugging in. Okay, this is positive 16 minus 8 minus 3. You know, that'll come out to 8 minus 3. So that's going to be a, what, 5? Okay. So please, 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 please watch yourself. Okay. Because if you don't put parentheses, you're probably going to get a negative 16 over here, and your numbers will completely be off. Okay, 77. Oh, and please do not forget to graph. Okay. this parabola should be on your paper. I should be able to see a graph on your paper. Okay? Plug the points in. All right, 77 is an expected value because your expected value per flip. Jining is going to flip a coin. The result is heads. He wins $4. If the result is tails, he loses $7. So I like to draw a picture because sometimes this will help. Okay, so here's my spinner, right? Technically it's a coin, but the spinner, the picture actually does help. Heads and tails, so on a coin you have a 50-50 chance of getting heads, okay, so there's a 50-50 chance. If he gets heads, okay, he's going to win $4. So he's going to win $4. If he gets tails, he's going to lose $7, so minus $7. Okay, so sorry if you can't see that very well. So the question is, what is the expected value per flip? So let's do an actual expected value problem. 50% for this side, 50% for that side. So your expected value is going to equal, let's see, 50%, right? 50% is 0.5 times plus the other probability is also for the tails is also 50% times. Okay. Well, he has $4 for one, and he has $7 for the other. All right, well, calculate it out. What's your expected value? So you should get, half of $4 is $2, right? Plus half of negative 7. Oh my goodness, we almost messed that one up. Plus negative 7 times 0.5. So that should be negative 3.5, right? Because half of 7 technically is negative 3.5. So your final outcome is going to be negative 1.5. Okay, so your expected value is going to be, hey, you know what? We've done this out, and you're going to lose $1.50 per spin, right? So that's how you calculate expected value. You do the percentage of whatever area that is plus the percentage of whatever the other area is. Total should come out to the same. So if he flips the coin 8 times, about how much should he expect to win or lose? That's part B. Well, if this is going to be the value of, he's going to lose $1.50 per spin. If he spins or flips the coin 8 times, what are you going to do? Okay, I'm going to let you answer that question. Okay, what do you have to do? 77 is done. All right, and now we have, I think that was it, right? Okay, I think I'm going to stop there because it looks like we're done. And I'm going to pause the video on this one, and I'm going to come back with another video to do 74. All right.